Matter which has been a lot topical and a lot of misunderstanding. His Excellency, Mr. President, did lay before the National Assembly the National Water Resources Bill on the 11th, did lay before the National Assembly the National Water Resources Bill. And there has been a lot of misunderstanding and misreadings of this bill, some imputing wrong intent. The essence of this briefing is to draw attention to the fact that there is in existence already, there are 5 different laws relating to water resources management in the country. And what this bill intends to do is simply to consolidate, amalgamate, and bring into one body of laws all the laws that relate to the management of water resources in the country, namely the Water Resources Act of 1993, the River Basin Development Authorities Act, which creates all the river basin development authorities like the Cross River Basin, the Imo River Basin, the Anambra, the Owena, and all those other river basins. Then the National Water Resource Institute, and then the Hydrological Services Agency. These are all the 4 laws which you see, by the time you look at the bill, you'll see that all these laws are brought into one volume. I draw attention to the provisions of the bill. When you'll see National Council on Water Resources, then powers and functions of minister responsible for water resources. These are all that is contained in the Water Act 1993, which is repeated in the laws of the Federation. Now you'll see Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency contained in the bill. Now it is also contained in the act which I will draw your attention to. Then you'll see in the bill, you also see in the bill National Water Resources Institute, which is already, there is a provision of the law relating to it, and then you'll see establishment, functions, and powers of river basin development authorities, which is, there is an existing law on the matter. Therefore, this bill submitted by Mr. President is a conglomeration, amalgamation, and consolidation of all the laws you have in the water sector. The only one that is not here is the National Inland Waterways Authorities Act. The other mischief which has been created by persons who have sought to give misrepresentation to this act is that the president brings a bill to take over the control of water resources from the states, and that the states will not agree. And I want to say that the bill as brought by Mr. President contains all the provisions that had in 1993 till today given control of water resources to water resources running through more than one state to the federal government. I will draw attention to the Water Resources Act. The Water Resources Act is Cap W2 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria. It came into effect on the 23rd of August 1993. 23rd of August 1993. And it says in this section, it says, I read with your leave, the right to the use and control of all surface and groundwater of any water course affecting more than one state, as described in the schedule to this act, together with the bed and banks thereof, are by virtue of this act, and without further assurances vested in the government of the Federation for the purpose of A, promoting the optimum planning, development, and use of Nigeria's water resources. B, ensuring the coordination and such activities as are likely to influence the quality, quantity, distribution, use, and management of water. Ensuring the application of appropriate standards and techniques for the investigation, use, control, protection, management, and administration of water resources. And D, facilitating technical assistance and rehabilitation for water supplies. the provision of subsection 1 of this section shall not be construed as infringing or constituting a compulsory acquisition of any right or interest in property. Now, this is the provision of the 1993 Act, which is simply repeated in Mr. President's bill. Therefore, which is simply repeated in this bill submitted by Mr. President. So the content of this law is also repeated in this act, in this bill submitted by Mr. President, for the purpose of making it one instrument. If you look at the 1999 Constitution, you will see in section 64, you will see in the schedule relating to the exclusive legislative list that the control of water and quota courses running between more than one state is vested in the federal government and is vested in exclusive legislative list, which means that only the National Assembly can legislate on it. Now, I draw attention to the Nigeria Hydrological Agency Act, which is also repeated. The provisions are repeated in this bill. The Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency Establishment Act is a law that came into effect on 27th August 2010. It was made under the administration of President Jonathan, and it was conceived at the time that Dr. Abaruma was Minister of Water Resources and Agriculture, and I was a party to the making of this act. Therefore, it is this law again that President Buhari has brought to be one of the laws that is consolidated into one document as one, the National Water Resources Bill. You also have the this is the Constitution, I'm sure. You also have the River Basin Development Authorities Act. This is a law that was made and took effect from 1st October 1986. River Basin Development Authorities Act, which creates Anambra Imo River Basin, Benin Owena River Basin, Chad Basin Development Authorities, Cross River Basin, Lower Benue, Niger River, Ogun Oshun, Upper Benue, Sokoto, Rima, and other river basin development authorities. It is in this act, and it is repeated in this bill. Finally, I draw attention to the provision of the Constitution Now there is the National Water Resources Institute Act, National Water Resources Institute Act, which is also repeated in the bill. This law, National Water Resources Institute Act, intends to establish the National Water Resources Institute for the promotion and development of training programs and courses in water resources, and to advise the government on water resources training needs and priorities. It came into effect on the 2nd of March, 1985. It is also repeated in this bill of Mr. President. What is the summary then of this presentation? It is simply, I'm sorry, gentlemen. The summary and gist of this presentation is simply to draw attention that the President Muhammadu Buhari, does not intend to create a law that was not there for the purpose of taking over the control of water courses and water resources and channels as against what the existing law is. He is simply consolidating existing laws into one body of laws. Now, this is the second of such initiative in this country. You know the petroleum industry bill. And the intent of the petroleum industry bill, which has now been made into two or three bills, is to make sure that all the laws that relate to the petroleum industry, when you take that but one body of law like this, then you'll find every enactment relating to that law, and you will be guided accordingly. Again, what is the idea of not allowing states under the Act as existing? The idea of not allowing states to have control of water courses which flow beyond in between one state and another is to ensure that one state does not dam or divert the course of water against or prejudicial to another state, just as it's contained in the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea and laws.
Welcome to First View Luxury Hotel. At First View Luxury Hotel, we offer excellent service. Our rooms have all the necessary facilities to make your stay comfortable and memorable. You will also have access to internet service, breakfast, 24-hour power supply, full air condition, free international calls, free tire pumping service, and free car battery charge. So what are you waiting for? Quickly visit First View Luxury Hotel. We are located at number 1 Adeline Bamishile off Raji Rasaki Road, First Estate, Amuwo, Odofin Stark, Lagos. For more information or reservation, please call us on 08075787135 or 08099900601. You can also take advantage of our online ongoing promo at www.firstviewhotel.com to make your reservation and payment for your favorite room, which attracts a discount rate. Please note, rooms are reserved based on first come, first serve. First View Luxury Hotel. Experience the home of comfort. They come.